All right, everybody, now that I ran through it from this angle up here, I got something of a similar tool that I'm actually going to go in up underneath the fender liner, and I'm going to take a run through it from this direction. This is all prior to me going into that real strong crease checking position where I'm sitting on the floor looking up to it. And then I'm going to explain to you exactly how I'm going to iron out that last bit of the crease and how we're going to define the end of this repair. Very, very similar tip. So we're all good there, same type of tip. And I'm just going to get in here and push up some tiny little lows from this angle. You know, another thing that you might notice is while I'm doing this repair, guys, the same principle. You take the light up close to get the center of the damage out. The more that it shallows up, you push it tighter to the car and further back. All right, everybody, so now we got it ironed out to the point to where I can begin going in to that big crease check angle. So I'm not going to fight little lows at this angle any longer because we're going to go ahead and look at it from that crease angle. And let me kind of show you what I mean. You can get a preview of this little crease that I'm talking about right there. You see it? That is running through a majority of the dent. All right, everybody, I want you to go ahead and see my setup here. We have the light sitting here on the floor up above and angled in so I can sit down and look up at the crease. All right, guys, so this right here is my view. So I'm going to be able to identify any little lows from this angle and just kind of shape that panel up. Got a nice little crown right there as well. If you can see that from this angle, right there. You can see where the fog just kind of starts to pinch together a little bit. And you can actually see the crease right there. So there's little shallow flat spots throughout this whole panel. This is probably the deepest little part of the crease, but definitely got to get it worked up from this angle prior to going in to, I'm so happy to say this, our final cross check. All right, everybody, so jumping into position here, again, now I'm down here and my head can actually go lower than the panel so I can look way up here while I'm doing my pushing. And I'm going to do this like so. Slide my tool in here, get it positioned, find my little crease through here, and just leverage push right here off the tire. I'm going to go ahead and iron this crease out, and then we're going to go in for one final cross-checking angle, basically just finishing up, pushing up little bitty lows here and there. And even when down here in a position to where you're working a crease out from the floor up, don't be afraid to, you know, right now I'm kind of working it with a close fog, working at the bottom of the crease. I'm going to literally elevate the light a little bit and take it further away in this direction, giving me that tighter angle that I need to do my finishing work. So just keep in mind that these general principles in dent removal basically apply to every single cross-checking angle, especially when you're doing large advanced dents like this. It's just, it's important to follow all them principles to a T, and you'll find yourself working these things out great. And you know, I have confidence in you. So now we're at the level where we went ahead and got our cross-checking done from sitting right there on the ground. Now I'm actually going to go in and start blending little waves out from a long distance using this blending hammer. Again, this goes back to my, you know, some of my other tutorials of hammer and knockdown versus blending hammer. So we took advantage of the precise precision of a hammer and knockdown to lay them down just right. And now that we have subtle waves throughout this panel, we're going to be able to get way back and just tap, tap, tap them little waves and blend it and lay this panel down. Now, after we get to that point to where we get it nice and blended out, we're going to do our final work here. We're actually going to go again in right up through here and make a run across here with a real nice bullet tip tool and take a look at it from another angle, and we're going to be all finished up. So stay tuned. We'll keep on moving through this thing, and we'll jump in here and do a little bit of blending. And just a quick note here, we are going to be blending this out from both angles. Guys, so after all this blending, we're going to go ahead and go in for our final cross-checking work. Basically just pushing up some of these little lows, knocking down some of these little waves, and we're gonna get this thing dialed in. I mean, it's at a level now to where it is absolutely sellable, but we're gonna go and take it one step further and just try to get out any single little ripples and waves that are in here. So again, gonna be cross-checking it from 2 different angles, up in through this access point, and then down here through the bottom access point underneath the wheel liner. All right, everybody, I have decided not to use a sharp tip on this whatsoever. No need, no stretched metal. Definitely just gonna go in here again with these same tools that you've seen here with the same style tip. And although this time I'm gonna take a little bit of a different approach, I'm gonna go through it from this angle first, then I'm gonna come through it from that angle because I want that angle up there to be my last very, very finishing angle. I have decided throughout the repair process that that angle was definitely, you could see much more because you're in a much more comfortable position. You can bring your head down and bring it closer to the panel while having full control at a further distance. All right, guys, I just want you to see what I'm seeing when I'm talking about picking out these little bitty lows. I'm just literally going in here. You see how I had a little mismatch of texture there? And I'm just going through the panel, pushing little spots, closing up that little mismatch in texture. And then see, as I get through this spot right here, I'm actually gonna go ahead and move on to the next. So I'm gonna go further into the panel. So that's what I mean when I talk about picking orange peel. Then we got a little spot up here. Just a little bitty spot, a little bitty wave. We're just picking every spot out. We got a little spot right there. We're gonna just go through it, push the light further and further back, making each and every little one of these pushes, blending out the orange peel. So that's the stage that we're at here. You wanna rinse and repeat this process further and further into the panel. So each time you get a little section finished, you take your light and push it back. And just keep on doing that throughout the panel. And this is my last final pass, guys. So gonna go ahead and jump in here, finish this up, rinse and repeat what I just showed you right there when it comes to picking orange peel clean. And take it back at the furthest tight angle, do a few taps, do a little bit of exchange, make it nice and flat, and you will be all finished up with a repair like this. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up, and we'll go ahead and take a shot of the after. There you have it, all finished up. And definitely not perfect, but we told the client, our customer here, that we could just do the best we could on a dent that's that severe. So I just want to take a final shot of it here, and we'll go ahead, we'll do a natural shot of it outside as well. So there you have it, guys. Let me go ahead and get you a natural shot. Let's take it over here. There you have it, guys. We will see you on the next one. I want to go over just a few things that we learned during this process. Number one, try to move as much metal along at a time on a dent like this. Number two, we want to break that dent up into multiple dents and then isolate them during our repair process. Number three, we want to keep on rolling through there with each stage of our repair process so we're not switching back and forth between tools if we just stay on one specific dent. You know, for instance, one of the things that I talked about during this repair was that I went through everything with a soft tip, pushed it out by hand, then went through everything with just a soft tip, then went through everything with a sharper tip, went through everything with a certain tip knockdown, then we went to the next level knockdown. Basically what that does, that just keeps you on track to where you're not interchanging with too many tools. And you're not just going back and forth, and then moving on to another area and going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Something else that we learned, that these large dents right here, you want to tackle them from multiple angles. You know, lay down, get that crease angle. When you see something, make sure you become a detective and you find it. You identify which way the crease is going. You get your head down there and you look at it from that direction. That's what's going to make you a fluent technician. The customer is going to love this repair. They did not spend near as much going to a body shop. I didn't spend near as much time as if, you know, for instance, we promised a 90% removal on this. And they were just absolutely ecstatic about that. They took it to a body shop and they wanted to replace the fender, or potentially another body shop actually wanted to Bondo it even worse. So, you know, in the great scheme of things, this is an amazing opportunity for shops to get involved in doing repairs for clients, making them happy, and doing an amazing repair, and you make a decent amount of money because, you know, with these methods that we're teaching you, it's not going to take you near as long. This is not an all-day repair. This is a 2-hour max repair. So I'm going to say 2 hours max. Now I filmed it, and that's a different scenario, but 2 hours of steady head down, you know, working is what typically a repair like this takes. You know, I don't know about you, I'm not going to discuss pricing on what we charged here, but let's just say we did real well on this repair work. So there you have it. There's some things that you learned about doing a large dent removal here, and we'll go ahead and I'm happy to have you here watching these tutorials, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.